From the Bob Mills Weather Center, the Oklahoma weather expert, Travis Meyer.
Still not as good as Gathering Place. Anyway, back on into what we're talking about. We're talking about the Atlantic Basin because why? Because there's a whole bunch of hurricanes going on or tropical disturbances out there. I thought we were going to have Hermine, but that got stolen just off the coast of Africa. Looks like Ian's going to be the next one, and that's probably going to be the one that moves into the Gulf of Mexico. And this is the peak of the season, and sometimes we're a little bit further down the list, so we're not really complaining about this year, but tremendous amount of activity across the Atlantic, just a lot going on. This is the newest one. Again, that's just off the coast of Africa. And that's expected to stay there, die there. There's Gaston, and here is Fiona, which we've been talking about. Stacia mentioned it many times during the 4 o'clock newscast, and then that is moving up and becoming wrapped into a low pressure center. What we're mostly watching is TD9, which is what? A tropical depression, number 9. And that right now has a lot of thunderstorm activity, so the bright colors indicate colder cloud tops, which indicate a thunderstorm development. So it's a tropical depression. Right now our storm track is going to be taking it looks like closer to the Cayman Islands and then on up someplace across the west coast of Florida. Still a ways to go, but here's the latest trajectory that the Hurricane Center has for us. We're at 35-mile-per-hour winds right now, sustained. Some gusts to 45. It's expected to strengthen as it moves into quieter waters, and then we're talking about up to near 90-mile-an-hour winds, maybe 100 as it hits the western coast of Cuba. And then it starts to jump a little bit. Could get up to Cat 3 or Category 3 as we go into the western coast of Florida. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see with sustained winds of 115. That's the latest, but hurricanes have a mind of their own. Back home right now, looks like that's not going to help us with any rainfall. And we have two systems, a big, strong, low-pressure center off to the northeast. That's a massive thing going on. But we still have that high, and that's that ridge of high pressure that's been with us since June, July, August, now September. It hasn't gone really anywhere, it just kind of waddles back and forth out there. Our hurricane will go on up into the southeast part of the country, give a lot of rain in the southeast, but once again, high and dry around here, and even going on well into the next 8 to 10 days. That high is still there. It's like, go away, and it just won't, and that means bad news for us, so we're going to have to deal with that. As far as extended forecast, that means drier than normal as we move through the week of the Tulsa State Fair, so you really don't have a whole lot of rain to show up at all. So I guess that's good news unless we get some surprise, and it will be warmer than normal. So if you're planning on selling a lot of hot chocolate at Tulsa State Fair, maybe I would make that iced tea at the rate it's going. And we're talking about rainfall chances are slim, isolated showers, hardly anything for the next 10 days. Maybe 14 days. And since we've had even a 1/4 inch of rain, now we're all around 20 or more, 54 in northwestern Osage County. It is unbelievable, and it is hot right now. Temperatures still in the 90s with upper 80s. Kickoff for high school games coming up in a little bit. It'll be in the 80s. By morning, we're in the upper 60s near 70. There is a boundary coming through that will give us a slight chance of a passing shower or thunder shower right around noon to 4 o'clock from Tulsa to the southeast. That dies down, but it's still going to be hot because there's no real cold front. It's just a boundary. So that's the situation we have to deal with there. We'll be a little bit cooler and drier on Sunday morning, and then Sunday afternoon we'll have temperatures shooting in the upper 70s. I should say upper 80s to around 90. You're still in the mid 90s to upper 90s farther south you go on Sunday. Obviously our game day forecast right now looking for a down in Oxford, Mississippi in the middle of the afternoon, upper 80s and somewhat muggy and warm. And then in Norman it's going to be very warm. At least it'll be lower humidity, and we'll have few clouds, and sprinkles should be over with. The tailgating should be okay, but a few sprinkles could be around early. And race for the cure, as we said, Leanne's going to be out there. We're looking for temperatures in the 70s in the morning. That should be pretty good. Creek County Fall Free Fairs going on. Hot day tomorrow with a slight chance of an isolated shower or thunder shower, and Cleveland Pioneer Days going on. We have so many things happening. All right, get ready to enjoy a good weekend, though, even if it's going to be hot. We'll look at temperatures, not too bad. As some of the football games are ending, a few of those will end with 70s. So we'll be about 70 in Tulsa with a good start in the morning because it's low humidity. That's about the only good thing I can say, other than it's the weekend. That's always a good thing. There is a slight chance of showers or a thunder shower tomorrow afternoon from Tulsa south and east. And then after that, calms down. But man, I was looking for a cloud to put on the 9-day planner after you get Tulsa State Fair kicks off, and it gets a little bit toasty there toward the beginning of the Tulsa State.